Okay, Peter, we're talking about would-be developers choosing a site where they can that they can develop and build apartments, units, houses. Absolutely. This is a perfect one in Heidelberg.
Definitely is, Des. We consider location as one of the major factors in what site is good and rather it sets it apart from another. This particular site here in Darabin Street, it's a block back from Burgundy Street, where you've got all your central shopping, you've got local primary and also private schools in and around the area. So it's a classic example where, when considering to develop, we've got to understand the demographics, the location, but more importantly, what we're trying to achieve here is when we build the townhouses, that we actually get maximum dollar value out of it.
That there's demand for it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. Well, let's have a look inside and see why it fitted the bill so perfectly.
Let's go.
After you.
Thank you.
Pete, first impressions, it's a lovely big block and it's got a fair old slope on it too.
It does, Des, and the views are just amazing over towards Eaglemont, treetops, it's sensational. Yes, it is slopey, but it certainly has its advantages as well.
All right, Pete, here we are. She's a pretty dilapidated old house, but the house is irrelevant here, isn't it? It
is, Des. I mean, this is a classic example of a really run-down house on a great piece of land. It measures just over 1,040 square metres, just over 20 metre frontage, and about close to 50 metres deep. But the main key, I guess, considerations in selecting this site for our client was, yes, the size, but also there's no actual easements, which is no designated areas in the block where it services underground pipes. So that's a huge bonus when coming to construction. But also, if we look around, we need to consider what is next door, you know, how we're going to affect next door, and does that prohibit us with what we're trying to achieve with our overall design.
And you've got double-storey townhouses over here.
Exactly. There's a big house which is probably over 40 squares, and that in it, although it's just one house, the bulk is quite big there as well. But along this whole high side of the street, there are multi-unit dwellings.
Right, Pete, so the aim is to build 5 double-storey townhouses on this magnificent block. Of course, the only stumbling block is council, so I've got a little thing, if you blow that and wish, you'll get your wish that for council approval.
I'll close my eyes first.
Okay.
Didn't need to do that, because we've got 5 double-storey townhouses approved from council. So no VCAT, straight from council.
Straight from council,
Absolutely.
Unheard of.
And mind you, our client is a builder, so he was absolutely ecstatic, knowing the difficulties, etc., and the challenges we faced. So we've got 5 two-bedroom plus decent-sized studies on each one. A visitor car spot on site.
And you've got some fantastic drawings done up of
Absolutely.
those. They look pretty schmick.
They do, and we've got some 3D sort of images that people can see. It's a fantastic development, and also we've got the major consideration in this particular site. We've got access from the rear, so the rear unit benefits from having access.
What are we going to get for these apartments? What will they be worth? 3 to 4, 3 bedroom,
Well,
did you say?
As everyone knows, in this point of
it's fluid.
You know, it is probably the lowest point in the property market for a number of years it's been.
Won't be built for how long?
The next 10 months, they'll be all finished. But in this current market, for a 2-bedroom in this locale, anywhere between 6 to 670 is what you would expect. But that is in a really downward market. So he's considering on holding and having the property market uplift in the next couple of years, and then an extra 10-15% on top of that.
And you picked up the house for under reserve, I believe?
Absolutely. They were wanting closer to $1.2 million. Picked it up for under $1.05 million.
This must just be the perfect property. This must be the perfect project,
look,
one, is it?
At the end of the day, a lot of these things, it's more, if things happen your way, it's great. And if they don't, you should be walking away, and if it doesn't feel right.
OK, Pete, just checking our development checklist again. Good size block.
Location.
Location, near amenities.
Close to transport, etc.
No easements underneath.
And what's next door?
And precedent set next door with some similar properties.
Definitely.
When do we start demolition?
Look, we've got some professionals coming in next day or so.
Don't worry, I'll do it.
Hang on, have you got your hard hat?
No.
What about your safety boots?
I love this stuff.